Hello, everybody. Welcome in. How are you guys doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. AKA Former, how you doing? CDs, what's going on? Welcome. Let's go ahead and jump in, and I will explain to you guys what we're doing today. All right. Okay. I have in front of you a cool little Rohan house. It's a nice mini. I got it. I actually got it as like a reward for a tournament. This set, and there's two houses. Just heading to prison. Yeah. How are you? You enjoying the job? Still working on it. Yeah, it's a nice house. Very very Eastern European, right? So we have this house. This is a finished version. So this is done and ready to go. What I have here is a house that I just started on last night that needs completed. So we're working that way. So there are two different houses. They're a little similar, but they're Rohan houses. Reminds you of the house you were born in. Yeah. It's a big house. Yep. The big house prison, right? So yeah, we're gonna paint this. We're starting with two dry brushes. So we need to dry brush the wood on here, and then we need to dry brush the thatching. The thatching is going to be I believe it's just going to be bright pale yellow as our thatching color. Now, I did this on my own like months ago, so I don't remember all of my exact color schemes, but we're going to try to make it work. I'm going to do beige gray as my start with my dry brush over the wood. So we're going to start with the beige gray, then we'll go back through with the bright pale yellow, and then and then we do details. It's some Army Painter speed paints on like golds and silvers, and then we take some black contrast in there, and that's about it. So there's not a lot going on here, but I do really enjoy these buildings. They're really fun to build. I would totally build and paint more of those. But we're gonna paint this. We're done with this. What's up, Mydro? How you doing? We're going to work on, so I had some other terrain pieces to work on, back to some Prospero stuff, but we're going to kind of play catch up with some of the Prospero terrain before we get into finishing the rest of it. So that's our week. So we're going to start with this beige gray. Flip around my wet palette here so we got some space. I think we'll get back in painting. Nice. You playing any mini games, or you just been busy, Former? Put down some of this beige gray, and we're going to grab a giant brush. I'm going to dampen it just a little bit, and I have this scrap piece of cardboard I use for my little dry palette kind of thing. I need a dry palette. I want to make a TPD dry palette, but it's a lot of work. All right, let's see, very gently. Yeah, I think that's the color we want. The start of these was just two contrast colors. There was Wildwood, and I zenithal highlighted the building basically. Just a big overall zenithal highlight. But it was Wildwood contrast on the wood, and then Agoros Dunes on the thatching. And that was it. Yeah, happy Wednesday, guys. You guys see the 40K update? 40K got its first like monthly errata or whatever balance update. It seems like people are overall happy. I haven't seen too many shenanigans that people have been having trouble with on this specific updates. So it seems like they corrected stuff, which is good. Good for them. Yeah, so Wildwood. And we get into this beige gray on the wood. It won't take too long to paint these. This is the nice thing about these houses. They probably took longer to assemble than they will to paint. But that's kind of terrain, isn't it? Hey, Frankie Fingers, how you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, Warhammer players happy, yeah. And by happy, I guess I mean there's not like overt complaining about this specific day. Yes, this is one of the Rohan houses. We finished one. I painted this months ago. I was like, I'm going to paint both of them, but I just painted one. It was for a painting, like bingo, hobby bingo for a local game store. So I painted a piece of terrain, and then I just left this one primed. So last night I was just hobbying with my son. I was like, you know what? I can start this Rohan house, and I might as well just finish it since I started it. So, Mr. Lord, what's going on? Okay, that side's done. This is a great set of terrain, though. I wish it were more like universally like applicable to GW games. But man, it's a great set. Just so much modularity and customizability and everything. It's great. You're a bold one, yeah. Yeah. Good old Grievous. See if we need to do another pass on that after the fact. We'll get this. Wicked idea. Get some Ambots from Necromunda, play them as Chaos Spawn. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I think that's a great idea. Necromunda has such a good miniature line. It's almost a shame at like how the game is not as popular as some of the other stuff. But if I knew there was a regular Necromunda group around me, I would, and I guess if I had like the extra time, I would totally jump in. Necromunda looks like a lot of fun. I'm also a big fan of the like League campaign with the like RPG elements that Necromunda has. So start very gentle. If you learn how to alter the pressure of your dry brushing, you don't waste as much paint. You don't have to get as much off. You need to make sure it's consistent throughout the bristles. You slowly add pressure as you get comfortable and figure out how exactly the paint's going to apply. Yeah, what you guys up to? Happy Wednesday. Any other good news? What's the 11 o'clock news for Warcom? Is there anything? Let's see. Galaxy and Flame cover for Saga. Okay, it's a new cover. All right. Oh, it's just like special edition stuff. Okay. I'm waiting for a. I'm waiting for the Heresy FAQ to come out. That's my my big news I'm waiting for. Quick thing I can do here. I gotta glue Painting Sons minis on their bases. Assembled another 3 last night. He's slowly working through them. So the ultimate dream is as he starts playing games, and then we can go to game nights at the local store together, and it ends up being a win-win for everyone. Painting wife gets a little bit of quiet time by herself. I get an extra evening or an easy excuse to get out to the game store, and I get to game with the Painting Son. He gets to game and play the miniatures that he's been working on. So slowly getting my Blood Angels painted. Wait, hold on. Not my real dad. Trying to do terrain is very funny to me. Oh, okay. Fun of me, Greenleaf? Jeez, man. I'm just painting, dude. I'm not hurting nobody. We're just here painting minis. If you're gonna be mean, you can take that attitude somewhere else. We don't need that. Yeah, Fox, are you painting your Armageddon squad? Armageddon units, I guess. Is that what you're working on? I don't like when people are mean to other people, but we especially don't tolerate negative comments about people's painting. Just here dry brushing a house. Just comes in and is like, "You suck painting, Dad." I'm like, alright, dude. I get enough negative comments from YouTube. I don't need that from Twitch. Went in for a paint pot of Abaddon Black, walked out with the Armageddon box. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, good luck painting. It looks like a fun box to paint, honestly. Minis in there look really good. yeah, you suck at sucking at painting. No, thanks, guys. People just have to be so needlessly mean all the time. Not about that. This time. Yeah, yeah. There are stores around me that still have copies of the set. It's really bad though. I'd honestly rather take the starter set that's coming out over the Armageddon box. The starter set has the terrain in it. It's like a really good value compared to what you'd pay, like retail wise, for that terrain. Yeah, that coin, just that $300 coin is such a good deal. Yeah. That's really funny. All right. Very gentle. Yeah, it's a good deal. Okay, I'm taking a quick look. Oh yeah, they match really well. Really well. Okay, cool. Yeah. A little bit of extra there. Okay, I think the wood is complete. Okay, discount on the box was like $230. Yeah. Get yourself a good local store. Get it on discount. Isidore, what's going on, man? How you been? At the Warhammer store, you get a discount? How'd you get a discount at the Warhammer store? Alright, so that was beige gray over this building. Now we're going to do the thatching, and I'm going to do bright pale yellow. Pretty good shake. Similar thing as before. Works there. Oh yeah, okay. That was always like the big advantage of working for Games Workshop, right? Was you got minis discounted. Getting into Warhammer for... Oh, this is your first time getting into Warhammer then? Just getting that big box? I mean, it's a good place to start, right? 'Kay. Not exactly what? 2 weeks before that, you bought... Oh, you bought a big army for 30k. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, I think 30k is the better game. But the Armageddon box is still really cool, so it's fair play. Good old thatched roof. Yeah, if you're gonna be playing like 40k with your friends and stuff, that is a good start. Let's take a look. So, something I think I may have done. I mean, these are close, pretty similar. I'm gonna put a wash over that, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to do a wash. I think they work pretty well together. Well, they are. It's kind of hard to tell the difference, right? 30k minis look better. I think, yeah, in general, I think they do. Yeah. 30k Mechanicum are hard to beat as far as cool looking minis go. Rinse that brush really well. Okay, the next thing we need to do find some speed paints. Alright. There's one. So Horde Bronze. No, Horde Bronze isn't the color. It's Hoplite Gold, right? I shove these army painter paints into the corner and then just don't touch them for a long time, and so they One second, guys. Okay. Alright. Lucky Mini is call. Other than that, 30k minis are better. Yeah. You can basically use Call in a 30k army too, but yeah, that's fair. Alright, we got Broadsword Silver and Hoplite Gold. You know, before we do this, we gotta get a little bit of contrast going. New starter sets come out this weekend. I have a Google Doc that has all this information that's pinned to the gaming news and rumors. Let's take a look. Did I update it? July 25th. Yeah, the starter sets. Yep. All of that is July 25th. So yeah, that's this weekend. Waiting for the truck? Yeah. Man, I like the old truck. I remember when that older truck came out. It was a big deal. Okay. We're gonna get these window areas here. We'll get that too. Oh, wait a minute. Truck and the bikes. Yeah. Speed Freaks. Yeah, Speed Freaks are cool. Yeah. I have in an old White Dwarf. I remember a battle report that was Speed Freaks versus Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard army was like air assault, so it was a ton of like Valkyries and Vendettas and stuff, and just dropping veteran squads and all that stuff against an Orc Speed Freaks army. And the Orc army was pretty crazy. It was a dude that had just, you know, he just basically built his army on like Tonka trucks and stuff. But it was cool because, like, you know, that was the thing that like orcs have always been able to do, but the fact that it was featured in White Dwarf was really neat as like a battle report. Actually, like paned windows, what they look like. Set those down, they can start settling differently here. If you're a Total War fan, 40k Total War has a preview stream tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. The windows on that side, that's an empty window, so it's just this one. A little bit of different color to mix it up here. And then we're just doing our gold and silver speed paints here. Definitely need a good shake. Okay. We don't need a lot of gold, we just need a tiny bit. This one, the other building had more gold, like motifs and stuff on it. This one doesn't. Is that the point of these frames here? Okay, that's it for the gold. I want to make sure this contrast is dry because we're going to paint these the like window frames basically. And there's a door handle and that'll be metal. But otherwise, that'll be a finished building. I'll just varnish it on my own time, and we'll have a little pair of Rohan houses. That's what that'll be. I'm going to use a smaller brush for the silver. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna use a smaller brush. some time. Let's give that another minute. Let's give it a minute. Otherwise, I think I'll do some more terrain painting. That's cool with you guys. Oh, you guys want to hear a crazy story? So, last Thursday or Friday. It was Thursday or Friday, I can't remember which. Cooking dinner on the grill. And, I'm just grilling some vegetables. Nothing crazy. You know, no big deal. Cooking veggies on the grill. Turn the grill on and it's heating up, you know, and I put the veggies on. They're kind of like in the middle of the grill. When like the back corner starts catching fire. And like, you know, you get flare-ups when you grill. That's fine. Like, you know, it goes down eventually. You know, there's always like residual like grease and stuff in your grill. Well, the fire kept getting bigger, the back of my grill. So I turned the heat off. I turned the propane off, and I was like, all right, let's stop feeding it. You know, maybe it'll calm down some. Well, the fire kept getting bigger. It was getting even bigger. So I unhooked the propane. I wasn't sure. Maybe the propane tank had like was like leaking, or I don't know. Just like, yeah, no idea. But yeah, I turned off the sealed the propane tank, and I pulled it out. Fire was still getting bigger. And I was like, this is a problem. Like, I have never had this happen where it just like, I don't know what was feeding the fire. Like, I just cleaned my grill. Like, it's like a month ago. I like did like a full clean out and everything. And I replaced some of the like gas lines to the grill. And I think what happened was some of those gas lines were cheap and broke down. But yeah. Fire kept getting bigger and bigger, and I finally had to spray it down with a fire extinguisher. And I'm glad we had that fire extinguisher. We have this little fire extinguisher. We've had it for 15 years and have never had to use it. But if that fire didn't go down, like, I could have been a very serious problem. So, you know, I've had that grill for many years, maybe 12 to 14 years. I may have had that grill about 14 years, and I think it's time to call it on that grill. So it's all covered in fire extinguisher and all that. I don't even know like if that's okay to just clean out and cook off of or whatever, but I was like, all right, I was like, this is a sign to get a new grill. So I got myself a new grill, and I just came in this morning, ordered it because Costco, I was looking at grills, I found the grill I wanted, and then Costco had a sale on it. So The Grilling Dad. I know. Not for the past week. It's crazy though. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I can do garlic chicken because painting wife can eat garlic. So I'll try it out tomorrow. I gotta assemble it and move it and everything, but the grill was up on my deck, so I was scared that if the fire kept going, it's not just like, it just burns out on like a stone porch or something, and that's it. Like if it catches our deck on fire, then that's like it's curtains for our house, So we also bought a new fire extinguisher. That was an important thing, an important buy. Yeah, it was a little fire extinguisher that we had too. Little thing. And it was basically just running out of pressure and the fire was still going, and I was like, oh no, like if this thing runs out and the fire keeps going, like, it's curtains here, but it fortunately was just enough to put out the fire. That was my exciting Thursday or Friday, whatever day that was. Yep. I had a Weber grill. That was my old grill. And I decided to buy a new Weber grill. So I stuck with the same brand because that grill lasted me a really long time. And I think a lesson here is if I'm replacing parts in the grill, as tempting as it is to just buy cheap parts, I think I'll just stick with their brand parts because, my Weber parts lasted me 14 years. The new parts lasted me like 2 months. And I guess things catching on fire isn't something you really want to mess around with. Okay, we got our metal on there. A little sloppy on some of it back here. We could maybe change that later or fix it when that all dries. But I think that's our Rohan house. Like that's, it's like an hour of work. You gotta watch out for certain aftermarket parts. Yeah, quality is important. Yeah. Yeah, I think, deciding where that quality matters, right, is also a thing. Right, like you're buying like pencils or something, you don't need like high quality, like crazy quality pencils if you're just using them to write on, notes or whatever. But if you're, dealing with something that catches fire and is supposed to be on fire, or at least have flames in it, and could potentially burn your house down, then yeah, paying for the nice parts is worth it. Okay, yeah, Rohan house. And we got 2 houses now. Look at our two little houses. See, this one has a lot more like gold and silver on it. It has like the nice door, and it had the shuttered windows and everything. This set is also completely modular. I had seen people making like Mesothed, like the golden hall, like where Theoden like reigns as king and stuff, out of like these kits, like just these kits, like putting together enough of them to make that a whole thing, which is crazy. Okay, so put our little house down. Do I go? Let's see. I think maybe I can. Yeah, let's go ahead and just try to correct this a little bit. Just these 2 windows, they're a little off. Okay. Put you back. You guys are done. These. Okay. Put this house down. I'll get out the next thing. So we have giant ruin building. And we have two of these. So there's this one. It's got like kind of a, let's see, ruined little corner piece down here, but otherwise, you know, it's got this kind of design. And then the second one, a little larger, doesn't have the big ruined corner, but it does have the same design on the outside, so these two can work together. But there's a lot of gold and some blues. I'm going to paint blues on these top pieces here just to add some variety on this. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and start on these. Let's get our gold first. I can also see now it's slightly misaligned. This piece is on one particular part. But I got these pieces a little bit after I started painting some stuff, so I'm playing like catch up on these pieces. But then hopefully I can get everything at the same stage, and we can just resume painting it again. I might need a bigger brush. Yeah, let's get a bigger brush for that. Big picture things first, and then we'll come back and get the sides and the we need to be careful with. But tomorrow I'm going to be starting stream just a little later, but figure out what I should be painting. Okay, simple coat. We'll come back to that in a few. Let's move those houses over. Let's get this terrain out. And this has a destroyed pillar here, so and these are pieces that can easily be mirrored. A little bit of variety, but this is like two L-shaped ruins that kind of combine into one big building. You guys up to? Anybody hobbying? Anything good or fun? Okay, now let's get smaller brush. You're at work? Yeah, that stinks. Sorry to hear that. Alright. Gold on here is done. Let's get the next one. Or go back to this one here. I found a new game to play. Something I love about like modern PC gaming is it's very rarely, very rarely, like the big releases that capture my attention. You know, like I was interested in Anno. It's like Anno 117, like Pax Romana or whatever, and I was like, oh man, cool. And it's $60. And I'm like, well, I'm not paying $60 for that. And they're like, oh, it's on sale. It's 25% off, but it's like, oh, it's $40. Like, I'm not paying, or $42. I'm not paying whatever, $48. I'm not paying that for that game. Like, that's too much. There's like 3 games in my life I'm gonna pay that much money for. And that's not one of them. So what has happened is when I hear about games or I see people playing games like YouTube or something, the games always capture my attention are like indie games, which I think are much more prevalent on PC than on console. But the nice thing about indie games is it's very rare you're going to spend more than $10 on a game. You see a game that looks like fun, you go and you spend $5-10 on the game, and then you have your fun with it, and you could spend 5-6 hours in the game, and maybe it pays for itself at that point, in value or whatever. But I find those games to be more fun. They're more creative and kind of follow the genres that I enjoy and everything. Pacific Drive. No, I have not heard of Pacific Drive. But I was playing a game last night. I picked this up the other day. I got a YouTube recommendation. Some YouTuber was playing it. But it was like a months old video. But I was watching. I was like, man, this game looks like fun. And it's I don't know, kind of simple. It gets kind of complicated as you go through, but it's a roguelite auto battler. called Legion Bound. I think it might still be on sale for like $8. It was like $7.99. That's a lot of fun. You basically have like a group of heroes, and there's like you do like a run, or they call it like an adventure. And yeah, you fight the battles. Your heroes fight the battles, and there's like synergy between the heroes. So certain heroes have like area buffs, or they have different roles, and then they actually upgrade to like a second version, like a better version of their own hero when they're around their synergy hero is what it's called. It's like a hero that specifically works with them to buff them up. But there end up being over 400 different classes in the game. And as you go through a run, you basically build up your troops, your heroes, and you recruit them over time. And as far as I don't know what the maximum number of heroes you can have on the board at one time, but with the run I was doing last night, I was maxed at 50. So I had 50 heroes on the board, all of them like doing something. And then it's just, you're doing like, it's like wave defense almost with your heroes, and like an auto battler. And yeah, it's a fun game. Hey Blue, what's going on? Yeah, it was $8, and I was like, you know what, that is worth it for $8. I was up way too late playing that game last night, and I'm definitely gonna play some more. Yeah, because eventually what you do with those heroes, you get like, you can ascend the heroes, which is essentially you take two heroes and you kind of combine them into one, and they become an ascended hero. And the ascended heroes are like, better in every way, but it's also just takes the two. It's a game called Legion Bound. It takes the two heroes' abilities and all their stats, and it basically gives you both of them. So you have like a rogue or like an assassin, you combine it with like a berserker, and then it has like berserker and assassin abilities, which the assassin just does like tons of damage when it hits, and the berserker like hits faster and faster and faster. And so you have a class that hits incredibly fast but also is doing tons of damage. So it's cool stuff like that. Or you can combine there's like a tank unit called a guardian, and then a cleric was something that I really enjoyed. The cleric's a healer, but the cleric, every unit has like an ultimate ability that they build up, and the cleric is specific in that it builds up its ultimate when it gets hit. And its ultimate is it heals everybody, all your heroes, by for 50% of their health. It also heals as its like normal attack. It just heals a random friend, not random, but like someone with the least amount of health. The Guardian, the tank class, it has a higher chance of being hit by the enemy, and then whenever it hits, it taunts the enemy to hit it. And then its ultimate is it taunts everybody, and it's invulnerable for a few seconds. So when you combine both of those, where it's taking all the hits, it charges its ultimate faster as it takes hits, and then it heals everything and is invulnerable as it takes all the hits. It's a really strong like combo. So there's a whole bunch of combos like that that's really cool. So I've been enjoying that game. Yeah, Legion Bound has been fun. It's a little like auto battler roguelite. There's also a huge like skill tree. It reminds me also of like Path of Exile. The size of the skill tree, that's like your meta progression. It's giant. But you can also reset points or remove points whenever you want. So it's not like you pick something, you're locked in. You can change it up at any time. Yeah, it's a cool game. I was watching a YouTuber play it, and I was like, man, this game is cool. There's over 400 classes in the game. Once you get to like all your combining all the classes and stuff that you do. paint's being hydrophobic, but we're going to do 2 coats of this turquoise here. Although I kind of like when it's when it does this, and it dries, it looks really good. Looks worn, and I think that works for ruins. Yeah, Blue, what you up to today? You in the office today? Working and hating every second of it? Yeah. Brainstorming on a hobby kit bash idea? Is that KB? Oh, knowledge base, duh. Okay, my bad. Yeah, alright. Oh, really? Okay. Steer paint and terrain. Texture paint is acting full. Yeah. So I had done this before, and I varnished the paint. And now, as far as this goes, I actually don't mind this. I kind of like the effect it gives me with, like, in the context of the terrain, because it's supposed to look kind of worn down and everything, and that kind of works for me. But the first batch of terrain I painted, I remember I put matte varnish over everything, just to hold everything down and make sure things wouldn't mess up. But I remember it still did this, so I don't think the matte varnish did anything to help. Yeah. There's also going to be some stuff done with this, like we're going to put a wash, we're going to do dry brushing on things, so I'll be back to adjust this blue anyway later. Yeah, so even with a varnish over it was still doing that, which maybe my varnish just wasn't heavy enough. But you know, I'm painting. This is like 2.5 to 3 tables worth of terrain. I can't exactly be spending like $20 on varnish. Just to make it a little easier to paint. Also, man, my hands are destroyed after spray painting all this terrain. It's crazy. My wrists are like on fire after holding down this little spray paint nozzle on all this stuff. Yeah. That's my excuse why I'm not doing that. Look at that paint there. Okay, a little bit more to get on this piece. Let me move on to the next piece. I did paint a little Rohan house today, so that was something I did. Yeah, it's fun terrain. Yeah, we'll get this done. It'll be fun. One of these days, I'll put it all on the board together and I'll have all the cool like scatter and everything and it'll all look good. Yeah, it was just like completely bring it. Wrist after falling 20 feet. Now if I do anything longer than 20 minutes, my wrist is on fire. Ooh, yeah. I had a ladder give out on me when I was like 2 stories up, and I was very fortunate. I didn't break anything. I hit my head. I didn't cause any injuries or anything. But yeah, that's sketchy stuff. The craziest thing, just like a loud bang, like fall, loud bang, and then I'm like trying to check and see like if everything's okay. And it explains a lot. Yep. I hit my head and it was all over at that point. That was before I started streaming. That piece is misaligned. That's too bad. What's crazy, my neighbor, he's older than me. He's, maybe in his 50s or 60s, but he had a similar thing happen. He only has a single story house, but he fell off a ladder and hit his head. Well, when I did it, I didn't know he did it at this point. Your ladder gave out as well. Yeah, isn't that great? I went to the hospital. I called an ambulance, actually. Like, I wasn't sure what was going on. I was like, I don't want to make sure I didn't break anything. So, like, call an ambulance, super fun bill. But, went to the hospital and they did all the things, and I left. I was there for like an hour and a half or something, 2 hours. But they're like, no, it's good. Like, everything's good. They put little liquid stitches in my head and that was that. My neighbor fell and hit his head, and he didn't go to the hospital. He didn't do anything about it. He fell, and he's like, I'm fine. Well, 2 weeks later, he had a stroke, and he has not been able to walk since, and that was almost 6 years ago. So he literally was paralyzed because he thought he was fine, just, toughen it up. So, I wasn't happy to pay for the hospital, but I was happy I went, like it was worth it just to make sure. Off the ladder fell, and I didn't get off until I was already on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny they did it's an MRI, got an MRI done, and with you broke your hip as well. Jeez, dude, jeez. Chill on that ladder. Yeah, I was very fortunate. I didn't break anything. Oh, my hands were sore for weeks though. So I was still holding the ladder when I hit. Like it was, yeah. Anyway, I remember the doctor got my MRI, and doctor comes, he's like, hey, he's like, happens. Oh, you hit concrete. Oh, yeah. Fortunately, I was on I hit my deck. It was made of wood, so. Oh, yeah, that's rough. Oof. The doctor's like, I got some good news and some bad news, and I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, good news is, he's like, you're not hurt. Like, your head's fine. You didn't break anything. Like, that's all good. I was like, okay. It's like, what's the bad news? He's like, the bad news is your appendix is inflamed. I was like, okay. He's like, so, it's, once it starts getting inflamed, it's gonna, like, it's gonna be a problem. And I was like, all right. He's like, so you should probably. He's like, you just so you know. He's like, it's kind of your appendix kind of a ticking time bomb. And I was like, okay, is that like, it's gonna get me in a few days or in a year? Like, what does that mean? He's like, we don't know. Like, it's just gonna happen eventually. He's like, you might want to talk to your doctor about that. Maybe schedule a time with the general surgeon. And I was like, okay, well that's good to know. So yeah. So I talked to my doctor and I was like, hey, by the way, they said my appendix was inflamed and need to do something about that. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll schedule something with a general surgeon sometime. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, please, let me know when I can call the surgeon, like my referral or whatever. Never got back to me. And I woke up, it was a Sunday before Christmas. It was maybe like the 21st of December or something. I was woken up out of sleep and it felt like someone's hands were trying to rip my abdomen in half. It was crazy feeling. Like I could barely breathe. And that's my feeling. I was like, oh, okay, I think my appendix is is going. It was like 3 weeks later. And my doctor had not scheduled anything with a general surgeon at that point. But yeah, it was a Sunday, and I called my doctor. He was the one on call, and he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Well, we'll get you a general surgeon on. We'll call a general surgeon on Monday or something." I was like, "I don't think I can wait until Monday." And he was just kind of like, "Yeah, it'll be fine." I was like, "All right, well, I'm just gonna go back to the hospital, get this taken out." That's what I did. Did not like that surgery, by the way. It was not a fun surgery. All the surgeries I've had, that was one of the worst. Okay. We got some blue here. It looks faded because of the silly paint being an issue, but that's okay because it looks okay on this in context here. So we're gonna get this piece. You can probably tell, might be able to tell, this piece is a different color filament than this and this. This is yellow filament. I think it's the top half. No, the whole piece is... No, I think it was just the top half is yellow filament. I think Zen was printing this for me. He ran out of filament, so he printed this. Frankie, no, the spray paint is very hydrophobic. Yeah, it's a problem. It's alright, though. Yeah, you can just watch it. Just goes right away. See that? Yeah, so what I'm doing with this is, since I'm literally painting ruins, right? Like, the hydrophobic properties don't matter. It looks fine when it dries because it's like chipped away. Sometimes it's really bad and I need to put a second coat, but I'm going to just kind of let it go. We'll go back, we'll correct some things, get back to it, but then it'll be fine. Well, that's not very hydrophobic. For a second I was on this different filament. I was like, is it the filament that's the problem? No. I think it's that texture paint. It's the texture spray paint. That's super hydrophobic. Yeah, it works on the ruins, so I don't think it's that big a deal. And we're going to do washes and dry brushes, and we're going to correct things anyway, so it'll all kind of come around when we get to it. I have some other terrain to paint soon as well, and we'll test some hydrophobic paint properties here, but I'm going to paint some Zone Mortalis terrain. I'm going to do a lot of spray paint work on that with some zenithal on spray paint. And then mostly dry brushes. But, so that any kind of spray paint hydrophobic property shouldn't be too much of an issue if that's what we're doing. I think what I'm going to do for that Zone Mortalis terrain is I'm going to hang it up upside down, and then I'm going to spray the underside of it, and then I'll spray the top of it as a zenithal when I flip it over. I might just hang them all on dowel rods. With the way I have that terrain, it's able to be... Do I have any in here? No, okay, it's in the other room. But I can stick a dowel rod through all that terrain, because the panels are all separate, so they're basically, it's just frames that I'm painting first, and then it's all the panels I have to paint. Should be pretty easy. Hey, Raja. What's the streak at this point? Is it? Hope you're enjoying King's Island. Sounds like fun. Culture American, what's going on, man? How you doing? It's hydrophobic. That's it. It's just the spray paint. Yeah. Everybody's been asking about the hydrophobic paint. But we're going to lean into it because these are ruins. So, yeah, that's just part of like this texture paint that I use. This batch I'm painting, I did not use varnish over it. Like I didn't spray varnish over the spray paint before painting, but I remember the last batch I painted, I did use spray varnish, and it was still like this. So we're gonna go into, yeah, it's weathering. It's easy weathering is what this is. Yep, some of this is really bad though. Look at this. With this, a second coat does a lot to help it, so we'll just do an easy first coat and we'll get on the second coat. That nonsense. Back to it in a few minutes. I'll do a second coat on some of this. Show you guys what I painted earlier. I painted a little Rohan house here. How textured is the paint? It's very textured. It's called Caribbean sand. So I mean, you can see like the kind of rough stone pattern that it gives. That's all the texture paint there, because this is just an FDM print, which is smooth. So yeah, here's the house I painted today. Painted this earlier. So, and that goes with my other Rohan house. That's right here. No, it's not. I mean, I primed it like 2 weeks ago. I painted it. So the other stuff I had done earlier, or I painted, what was that? It wasn't last week. That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I primed it. And it was just a couple days later. I started painting it. It was still doing the same thing. It's just the nature of the beast with that paint. Dayton would be proud to live in those with Wormtongue whispering in his ear. Yeah, those terrain pieces they're very modular. Those are the GW like Rohan buildings, and I have seen people like Zorpazorp on YouTube. He made like Mesothed with those buildings. Like they're so modular. You can just make giant like houses and everything. It's really cool. Some of these here. Actually lined up properly. It's good. Kind of playing catch up with this terrain. So we have this terrain, and then they're working on, and then it's about washes, and maybe we do some more oils today. Finish up. I have 2 other pieces, and then I have these 2 ruins to put oils on. So we could maybe do that. I think these are the only 2 colors I put on before I do oils, so. And when those oils are complete, we start with just some big dry brushes. I'm going to get like a big like painter's brush. Just do some giant dry brushing over the whole model. And then we pick out these details again. And then it's a whole bunch of like weathering powder stuff. So, and there was some weathering powder I never finished on some of the other terrain that I had previously. So it'd be a good time to get all that out. Okay. Yeah, a little sloppy, it's okay. Alright. That piece is good. We got that blue. Do we do some oils here? For our last little bit. Okay, give me just a minute and we'll get our oil stuff set up. Okay. All right. I think we're ready. Opened a window. Got the terrain ready. There's 4 pieces of terrain I have here. Just make sure I have space for everything. Okay. I think we're good. Just use this container again. Enough. Not enough spirits at this point. Let's put some more in here. You guys know the story about how I got this little container pallet thing? I have dozens of these little containers, and they come with lids, so I use them for all kinds of random things. But I used to work for a pharmaceutical company, and I worked in their distribution center. So one thing they kept in their distribution center was stuff for the reps, like the salespeople, to use, like to give away, things like that, like little incentive things, you know. And did we just start with the big one? I have the wrong lens on the camera for this, but I think we just work on the giant mastaba piece here. So strong, a little too strong. We'll put some more spirits in there. So at one point, they were kind of going through the warehouse like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff we don't need anymore. And so some of that stuff was some of this pharmaceutical rep things, and those things, and there was like employee incentives, like t-shirts with the company name on it and stuff, and little things like that. So they set them out the front of the warehouse, and they're like, hey, anybody wants these, like, just take something. So, you know, we all kind of take our time. We go through some of the stuff and, you know, grab a t-shirt or two or whatever. And I go through and I see this box. It's a case of playing cards that this company had made to give out as incentives or for the reps to give out. But they're circle shaped playing. They're shaped like the like that container, like this thing. This was the case that held the playing cards. So they had these little circular playing cards, and they had the company name on the back, and like that was what they had purchased as an incentive thing or as a thing to give away. and no, you know, nobody wanted them, so they had multiple cases. I ended up taking a case of them, and what I'll do when I want to use this stuff is I'll just grab a case out and I'll just throw the cards away because I don't have anything I can use those cards for. They're like worthless as playing cards. So I literally just use it as as fodder for these cool little containers. Oh man, alright. Big piece of terrain.
It's clean, it's cold, and that's what I call high quality H2O.
Hey, alright, I'll take a drink. Get going here in just a minute. Welcome in. How you doing, Isidore? What's up, dude? We're just putting some oil washes on terrain with a camera that's can't zoom out anymore. You know, the high quality professionalism you expect from my streams here as I keep bumping the mic. It's all good stuff. Finish priming Death Guard? Nice, nice. You played much 11th edition yet? You have. What are your thoughts? Stop bumping the mic. Oh, this piece is heavy. Played your first game last week. Oh, nice, Cultured. Yeah. No, I haven't played any yet. No. I've been busy playing other games at this point, but I've heard good things. So good, right? Yeah, it seems like the little balance changes they made today made a lot of people happy. So. That's good. Stuck with 10 so far. Yeah. I feel like if you liked 10th, it seems like 11th would be pretty easy to like. It definitely does seem like an improvement over 10th edition. Okay, on top of that, let's get the stairs and then we'll work down the sides of this thing. Like the 4th disposition stuff, the new objectives. Not a huge fan of everything being L terrain. It doesn't have to be L terrain though, does it? It's just the areas. So I guess if you're like, if you like rectangles, right? I hope they change up the like terrain set they sell every year, and I hope they do a jungle set. Jungle set to me would be the coolest set of terrain they could make. But also, if I were to make a 10th edition terrain set specifically, I would do jungle stuff. So it'd be the areas and like jungle trees and everything. That'd be cool. Okay, oh, the thumb. I don't need to worry about changes, and you plan on playing with Legends units. Yeah. It's one thing I appreciate more and more about the specialist games is that whether it's the community or the designers themselves, they like Legends legacy units are totally cool. And if for some reason GW has a problem with them, the players are like, too bad. Like we're gonna have them in the game, so deal with it. Literally don't have the space on my desk for this. This is what we're doing. Let's see. Okay, now to the other side. Applying the wash on the tray. I have to yoink that. Yeah, it's just it's a really thin down oil wash. I don't want anything too dark. Because we're gonna end up doing work over this, but we're just trying to create some shadows in here. I gotta thank chat for that. They're the one they were encouraging me to do more oil washes. I have 4 pieces. This is the biggest piece that I'm washing here, but 4 pieces to wash, and then we'll be caught up with the batch of terrain I was painting the other week, and then yeah, maybe we'll move on that terrain. How's Heresy treating you? I'm having a lot of fun with it, yeah. The new Zone Mortalis journal came out, and I really like it. I never thought I would like Zone Mortalis until I tried it back in like 2nd edition, but super fun way to play the game. And yeah, that one seems to be probably the most well-received journal that's come out for Heresy, which is nice to see. And there's apparently supposed to be a really big FAQ/errata coming out very soon. So I am looking forward to that, just because I like the change-ups and stuff. But yeah, I really enjoy Heresy as a game. 7th with new minis ported in. Yeah, I'm familiar with the group. Yeah, the people that play. I was actually talking with someone about getting a Heresy game night started at that store. So I might be there more regularly if that's the case. All right, I think this thing has its little oil wash on here, so. Nothing too crazy. These stairs are a lot stronger. That was that beginning, but these ones look really good. And yeah, once we get this dry brushes going and get this all settled, it's gonna be good. But being careful not to use. Okay, yeah. Oh, jeez. All right. Cultured, very uncultured American over here. It brings some 40k minis. Yeah. I don't think it would be a problem to proxy, especially if you're just like learning and everything, right? We have a very laid-back group of Heresy players, so what you'll normally find, I think, or at least what I hear about online with the Heresy community, is it's not a very competitive bunch. You don't. A lot of people don't play Heresy competitive. You get a couple people like that you hear about now and then that are like, you know, they're just like playing the meta and all this stuff, which is trash, which we don't like. But what you do see from some Heresy players, and I don't think our local group is like this. I think we're just happy to have people playing, you know. But you'll see people that are they call them like rivet counters, you know, like they treat Heresy as a historical game, where if you're not playing like the right models, people end up having an issue with it. But I've never seen that from our community. I mean, we got people that use all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that's like the thing I think you'll encounter with Heresy groups. More so than like people are just gonna show up to a game night and stomp everybody because they're bringing all the best stuff. Culture doesn't. No. He is not from around these parts. Hey, Big Harry GM, how you doing? Good to see you. We're applying oil wash on terrain, which is probably difficult to see because my terrain is too big for my camera lens. So for that, I apologize. But no, not cool enough to live in Ohio. Yeah, that's right. Don't you forget it. Ohio is definitely one of the states that someone can live in. You gotta be stuck in. Yeah. Oh, poor you and your Pacific Northwest and your employee rights and such. Here, that was done. We got that one. Okay. Live. Yeah. You call it living. Yeah. I always remember from the 90s, 90s, early 2000s, the Animaniacs. There was an episode of Animaniacs where Death, like the Grim Reaper, like kidnaps them basically, or is like taking them, and he takes them down into wherever he snatches them down, and one of them, it's like Wacko or whatever. He's like, huh? It's like, are we in hell or are we in Ohio? And they're just like, I don't know. Ohio does have nice, we do have a nice bunch of mini painters. There's one plus for Ohio. We got good hobby stores here, especially in central Ohio. There's a lot. Yeah. Of Drew Carey show, I still can't get in. Yeah. The most accurate representation of Ohio, the Drew Carey show. But yeah, we start a regular night, Isidore. I'll send you a message. I'll let you know. And you want to come and learn a game of Horus Heresy. Be a good time. Those. upper part of this is done. Need to get this walkway. This is cool terrain. This terrain works really well as like a landing pad. It's big enough to hold my Storm Eagles, so that's enough for me. Okay. How can I do this? I don't have the space, guys. I don't have the space. Sorry, I can't get this on camera. Just gotta do a really quick off camera. Sorry, I keep bumping the mic. This is probably the last time I work on this terrain on stream. I'll just finish it off stream, just because this is too much to worry about. So we got that part done. Casually just getting a bunch of this stuff all over my glove. That's why we wear gloves. Get that kind of in camera. It's in frame. One thing, this texture paint does make it a little difficult to like pin wash because it just absorbs the wash like in on itself, so becomes a little more difficult. Is the urge to push the stay on target? Yeah, it's not gonna happen. It doesn't matter how much you push that thing. It's the other two pieces are smaller whenever we get around to them. Got you guys. What is this terrain for? Dreams to have a Mordheim table and a place for you. So this terrain is for... it is themed after Prospero, which is like the Thousand Suns homeworld. So the main purpose for this is Warhammer 30k or Horus Heresy games. But I guess if you want to just do generic quasi-Egyptian themed desert board, it works for any kind of sci-fi or maybe not sci-fi setting, because I don't know if there's any actual pieces on here that are directly kind of linked to sci-fi architecture, but yeah, Mordheim is cool. I would love to play Mordheim sometime, like get in on a Mordheim campaign. But I have not. I have never played Mordheim, actually. So, sorry, going out of frame here for a minute. This big piece of building. Future Ruins is good for both sci-fi and fantasy. Yeah, it's good to have, good to be able to use your terrain for multiple different games, right? That's one of my, I guess, I don't know if I'd say it's a disappointment, but I have that Rohan building I was painting, like those buildings, and they just don't work well with many other games because they're very distinctly Lord of the Rings. So they don't quite work as well for, like, you know, Warhammer Fantasy or whatever. It's just, yeah, that's a Rohan house. It's very unmistakably a Rohan house. Okay, and we have this last wall face here. And then we have those two kind of corner ruins that we were working on earlier. And then we're done with oil washes for the time being, so. Okay. Okay, adding just a little bit of depth and a lot of mess onto this. So we got that. Alright. These ruins are a little smaller. let's get these guys. A lot of these like crack, like missing kind of tiles and stuff are going to be like a sandstone color. But I know this this specific piece right here, this floor piece, was yellow filament, and it's kind of still showing up. You can, if you look hard enough, you can see that it was yellow filament. So I just want to make sure that can't tell it was yellow filament at one point by the time we're done. Easiest way to do that is just get some of this oil in there. Just about done with this piece. This was a much quicker piece. Okay. I think that piece is done, and I think we're on the last piece. Super messy process. Okay. This one just slightly bigger than the other one, but same process. Pretty quick from here once the step is done. I'm going to do some big dry brushes, basically. The main one to do is just a pure white. I'm going to dry brush over most of the mini. And then we kind of finish up like almost like touch-ups on the gold and blue. And then we just start doing like weathering powders. And the weathering powders are kind of in, I guess, 2 stages. There's one stage where I'm adding it to all the like ruined bits. You have like the intact bits that are like here, but then you have like this stuff. And so we want that to look more, you know, decrepit and such. So we do that. And the other bit is just adding weathering powder around the mini in general. And we have a sand, it's a sand weathering powder that we use. Once this terrain is done, I don't have like a whole lot more for this set to paint or to have printed out. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm sure eventually I'd probably want some more stuff, but what I'm going to be looking for this board is like scatter, like theme appropriate, like scatter stuff to just put down on the board to make it look interesting, to make it look like it's not just you know, 10 small buildings huddled in an area at a random placement. So I think that is an often overlooked part of terrain making or terrain usage. It's that random scatter stuff that makes things look interesting. Okay, now we go through these parts again. And this is the same design as the last piece. So this is the last piece, right? Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, good. Good. Inside of this. Last little bit here. What's nice about oil is you can always go back through and like adjust it afterwards. It's always nice. Okay. I think we have accomplished what we want to accomplish on that piece and on these oil washes. So what's going to happen is yeah, I think we're gonna call the stream there today. I need to clean up this whole desk space and everything, but we're gonna call it there today. Tomorrow I am going to be streaming, and but we're going to be starting around 11:30, maybe just a little after 11:30. There is a Total War stream that's happening at 10. It's Total War 40k stream happening at 10:30 a.m. and they said it's going to be about an hour, so I'm going to watch that. I don't have time to like set up stream by 10:30, so I'm going to watch that stream. We're going to start. We could talk about Total War 40k all day if you guys want, and I'll be painting something. We'll be working on something, but you guys have a wonderful afternoon, wonderful evening. We are doing Patreon Hangout tonight, so if you're a Patreon member, we're doing our hobby hangout tonight, so just be ready for that. Probably at 8:39 when I'll be on, but yeah, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. My draw, Big Harry, GM, Culture American. Thank you guys for hanging out. Isidore, thank you. And see you guys. Bye, everybody.